إن الحمد لله وحده الصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم.
And then we have another hadith. عن أبي سعيد سعد بن مالك بن سنان الخدري رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا ضرر ولا ضرار حديث حسن رواه ابن ماجه والدارقطني وغيرهما مسندا ورواه مالك في المؤطأ مرسلا عن عمرو بن يحيى عن أبيه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فأسقط أبا سعيد ولو طرق يفضي بعضها بعضا. It was related on the authority of Abu Sa'id, Sa'd ibn Malik ibn Sinan al-Khudri, that the Messenger of Allah said, there should be neither harming nor reciprocating harm. So this is one of the important hadith. And La darara wa la dirara, or La darara wa la dirara, because the letter Dad is pronounced in two ways, Dad and Zad. So La zarara wa la zirara means there should be neither harming nor reciprocating harm. Harming means that I can get harm without the intention of others. That accidentally I get the harm by others, but it was not intending to harm. But reciprocating harm means zirar, it does involve the intention. So when I intend to harm anybody, it is zirar. If I get harmed, if I am afflicted by a pain, if I am afflicted by any untoward thing, it is darar. Say I am walking, then I stumble. So this is darar. Or I was running, then I got stumbled. This is darar. I was walking, then I met an accident. This is darar. Other thing is that dirar means just harming others. And it means in Islam, neither it is allowed that I harm myself, nor it is allowed that I harm others.
Oh, okay.
So darar means self-harm, and dirar means harming others.
So it's la darar
La darara wa la dirara.
So what's the long way and walking?
Pardon?
In a way it says, Warahu Malik.
Warawahu Malikun. This is
You don't have to
usul.
remember that. You don't have to remember that.
No, you don't have to remember this. The only hadith is la darara wa la dirara.
Maybe this is the only hadith that everyone
And this is important hadith. This is important hadith. La darara wa la zirara. Because this hadith applies to all the fields of the fiqh. La zarara wa la zirara.
I always thought it means like, as human beings who are not able to do harm, and then, like.
No, it's not like it is that you neither harm yourself nor harm others. You have to protect yourself and you have to protect others. This is the crux of the hadith. That's why it says harming can happen without intent. Because sometimes I get harm and that's without intention. But sometimes when I had the intention to harm myself, this hadith talks about this. That with intention, be it to self-harming or to harming others, it is altogether prohibited.
So then the smoking comes under this now?
Yes,
Yeah.
it comes. Because you are harming yourself.
So this means it's haram or prohibited?
That's why there is a difference of opinion among the scholars. Because there are not clear-cut words about this thing. Because in order to say a thing haram, we must have clear words that it is haram. Or at least we must have clear these fara'id words, then its opposite can be taken as haram. As I said that, for example, Allah says, Aqimus salah, you offer the salah. So it means it is fard. And if a person doesn't perform the salah, it means he did haram. Not getting.
No.
Performing salah is fard.
Yeah.
Or wajib, because Jammu says fard and wajib, it is altogether one.
Yeah.
Performing salah is wajib. Okay. Now, what if a person doesn't perform? Haram.
Yeah.
So it means opposite to wajib is always haram. This I've been to see. So this way we can also find out the list of the haram. So means we have the list of wajib and opposite is haram. But when we don't have any such clear expression, like smoking, we don't have the clear expression about this, that it is haram. That way there is a difference of opinion among the scholars. And the majority opinion is that it's not haram. It is makruh. That one should stop this, and if he continuously and he's become the addictive, then this will turn into the haram.
And drugs is haram.
Drugs are haram.
Marijuana is not haram.
Marijuana.
Pardon?
Depends.
Marijuana. Is it haram?
What's marijuana? I don't know.
It's like
Hashish.
hashish.
Hashish?
No, it's not hashish.
Yeah.
Marijuana.
Marijuana is hashish.
Is it? It's a drug. It's a drug
Okay.
from the plant.
This hardly matters whether it's from plant or some other object. There are the features. If it qualifies the features, then we have to see to which category we can apply to this.
Vice beer.
For example, if it intoxicates the person,
Yes.
intoxication
What
is there.
it does is it disinhibits the person. It alters with
It
your
makes him
consciousness.
unconscious.
Yeah.
So it is haram.
You know, it doesn't make you unconscious, but it makes you very happy or something.
A kind of
sad.
ecstasy, a kind of ecstasy a person feels, and he
Yeah.
feels. But at the same time, is he in his senses?
Yeah.
Yeah, it alters the senses.
Completely.
No.
No.
That's the thing, which means it intoxicates a person.
Yes.
Wherever there is intoxication, it is haram.
Uh-huh.
Since in cigarettes there is no intoxication, though this is agreed upon fact that really this harms to your body, but there is no intoxication. Had there been intoxication, as we have in hashish, we have in so many things, we have in drugs, we have in cocaine, so that's altogether haram. We have in heroin. Why? Because that intoxicates a person. And that has been derived by ulama from what? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Kullu muskirin khamr. Every intoxicating thing is like the wine. Wa kullu khamrin haram. And every wine is haram. So from this hadith, ulama says that it applies to all the things, all the objects and separated things which intoxicates a person.
In the Quran, there are some verses that mentions wine,
Yes.
but it's not the haram wine. The one that wine is not intoxicating wine.
I'm not certain.
In the Quran,
In the Jannah, right?
Pardon?
Jannah, there's like river of wine and river of milk. Right?
No. Allah says that sharaban tahura. Sharab means beverages, liquids. And sharab also means wine in Urdu language. And some,
so it's beverages.
yes, it's not the wine, it's beverages. Sharab means proper meaning beverage.
Right.
And Allah says
Because
sharab.
in some translations it is translated as wine.
No, that's not a perfect translation. That's a wrong translation. The
But
perfect-
if it does mention it's not the kind of wine that causes intoxication.
But the appropriate translation is beverages.
Beverage, yeah.
And then,
What's that about durian?
Yeah.
yes,
I said,
it is.
is it causing harm to others?
Since I told you
You
earlier,
didn't prepare.
yes.
I was disagreeing.
So
with
there are so many things I didn't understand myself. Because when a person makes slides, he knows what's in his mind, so he prepares them according to his own understanding.
Yes, yes.
When I make the slides of my own, then I'll definitely follow my own scheme. So that's why I couldn't understand the durian and all these things.
Do you know what durian is?
I have come to know that's a kind of fruit, perhaps. I don't know.
You have never seen it?
Not yet. Not yet.
My goodness.
This is a fruit. It's a girl cost
It's a very, very tasty fruit.
Very tasty. Then why has he mentioned
Yeah,
that?
I
You know.
That's why I'm
I
asking.
think because he doesn't like the smell of the fruit. It smells horrible but tastes very good.
How come?
They say smells like hell, tastes like heaven.
Really?
You should try it.
So it means we call this Ijtima'u Ziddain. The two poles have been joined together. East pole, North Pole and South Pole.
Yes.
Its smell is hell.
Taste is heaven.
For people who are not used to it, but people who like it, it smells okay, unless it's in your car.
Yeah. The car is very bad.
Really?
It's not allowed in hotels, in cars, no, in hotels and in aeroplanes.
Because of
The smell.
because of the smell. So it is foul smell.
It's not foul smelling. It's a strong ester. Are you a science-based person?
Yes.
It's an ester.
Oh.
So it has a strong ester smell.
That's sweet.
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
The smell is pungent, almost pungent.
It changes
So
after a while, it changes.
The way you describe this, I become more and more interested to have this.
So what if you live in Malaysia, you should. Yeah, it's what is it?
Inshallah, definitely. And there are examples of how can a person can harm others. And that's altogether not
This divorce is the house.
a man divorces a woman with children and threatens to take his children if she marries.
Sorry?
A person, he divorced his wife and he's having also children and he gave the custody of the children to the mother. But he sets up a condition that if she marries to other person, then he will take away the children.
But under Sharia, isn't the man supposed to?
Yes. But here is a condition, because a person divorces the woman with this condition that I will give the custody of the children to you.
Right.
Okay? But if you marry other person, I will take them back. So this is harm to the woman. This is zirar.
But in Malaysia, if the child is a girl,
Okay?
then the father takes the custody.
In both the cases, whether the child is male or female,
It's the father who takes the custody.
yes, he is bound to take the custody of the children. But there is one further more detail, that is after the age of 7, so the child will be given under the custody of their mother. And all his expenses have to be borne by the father. And after 7 years, the child will be asked with whom the child wants to live with. Yes.
So they have to ask the child.
Yes. Because most of the time, during the long 7 years, child develops the affinity with the mother. So
Yes.
he cannot deprive her of this love.
Yeah.
And if the child still wants to stay away with the mother, he cannot take her back. But still, father is responsible for the expenses. And likewise, a man wills 50% of his money. As I told you, that will is valid up to only 33%, not beyond that.
33.
33%, yes. And likewise, a man divorces his wife while on his deathbed. A man marries a new wife while on his deathbed. It's again harm to that woman, that poor woman, because he's going to die. Then she has to wait for iddah for 4 months and 10 days. Like this.
What is mursal?
Mursal, this is the kind of hadith. There are different kinds of hadith. One is marfu, then marfu, then we have mawquf, then we have the mursal. These are different kinds of hadith. So when some scholars say this is mursal, it means when we say qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is marfu. When we say qala sahabi, it is mawquf. When tabi say qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is a mislink of Sahabi. He is Mursal. Because Tabi, he did not see Rasulullah.
Yes.
So there is a mislink. When, for example, قال الحسن البصري قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
So this one, it was related on the authority of Abu Sa'id Sa'ad bin Malik bin Sinan that the Messenger of Allah said.
Yes. But there are other chains to this. That's why the other detail is وَرَوَاهُ مَالِكْ فِي الْمُوَطَّأِ مُرْسَلًا. That Imam Malik used this mentioned this hadith, but through Mursal chain.
Surah?
Mursalan an Amr ibn Yahya an Abihi.
Meaning there's missing in the Sahaba.
You see now you see the Arabic one. Rawahu Malik fil Muwatta. Muwatta is the name of the book. He narrated this hadith in Muwatta Mursalan, but as Mursal hadith. From whom? An Amr ibn Yahya. He was Tabi'i. And he narrates it from an Abihi, from his father. But his father is not known. Clear? Anin Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this is hadith an Amr bin Yahya Anin Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because his father is not known to us.
Right.
So there is a mislink.
Yes.
It is quite obvious that his father might have been the Sahabi, but we are not known about him.
Right.
He is not known to us. So when Tabi'i directly says that Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that is known as Mursal. Clear? And then other hadith, but before this, I will have a glass of water.
You want some breakfast? Sit down. You want rest in your hands?
Kata apa ni? Dia mana?
Halal.
Halal. Apa dia?
Boleh hadir. Jadi, Ustaz, foundation.
It's a Chinese food.
Halal. Halal.
It's halal.
Yes, halal.
No, I say it's mentioned here halal.
Oh, is it?
Huh?
Right.
No, what's that?
It's Chinese this statement.
Oh, you
Oh,
get
yeah.
it,
Can you Chinese?
I don't know. I said whether it is halal.
Oh, you asked me whether it's
Yes,
halal.
yes.
Oh.
It is.
It is halal? It has a halal sign. Okay.
There's a food in Kashmir labeled halal
No.
because all
Most, yes. Because we don't have non-Muslims there. Up to the 90s, before the emergence of this movement against India, there were almost 15% Hindus living in our society. But the moment the uprising started, they escaped from Kashmir and they went to different parts of India. Now we are alhamdulillah 100% Muslims there.
But literally cannot slaughter.
No, who said this? Yes, it is. In India, it is very difficult for them.
For the Kashmir part in India.
Yes, since I belong to the same part, Indian occupied Kashmir, which has been occupied by India. But as long as the Kashmir is concerned, no rule of India is applicable there.
Oh, okay.
Because we defy those rules. Because of the Muslim majority.
So the people, Muslim living in other parts of India,
They face a lot of problems. They can never think to slaughter a cow. They can never think.
But that's only recent, right? Only recently.
Yes. No, it was there, but since the change of the government, they have intensified these things.
Oh, okay.
Because Modi is
Yes,
being
he's
the
worst.
nationalist.
He's worst kind of person. They're worst people on earth.
Why did Modi come to Malaysia to Mahathir?
Pardon?
Why did Modi come to Malaysia to see Mahathir?
Actually, he wants to just strengthen his foreign policy. He wants to make relation with the different parts of the world. And other nations are also interested in India because India is a good market for them. 1.2 billion people are there, 1.25. So every nation looks at India as a great market for them. And it's a problem for us because India is getting stronger relations with the nations of the world. That way our cause is just deflated.
Because India is getting richer, right? The Indian people are getting richer, right?
No, there is a hell of difference between the rich and the poor. There's a huge gulf between rich and the poor. Hundreds of people are dying every year because of starvation. They don't get the food to eat.
Because if you, the low caste, you can never be rich, right?
Never. No, never on earth.
But now it's modern. India is modern now. You have a large middle class.
Yes, there is the growing middle class, but the caste system is still there. The people from the lower caste, they can never attain the head posts.
And they will never rebel.
That's why they had gave birth to the rebellion. In 16 states of India, they're fighting for their rights.
Oh, okay.
In 16 states, Maoists and Naxalites, and China is providing them the weapons.
But what if somebody from a low caste with education becomes rich? Does it change the way people view that?
But they still don't allow him to marry to their children. Because this caste system is
Even
not...
if they're Muslim?
It is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The lower castes in India, they're all Hindus. Because in Islam, we don't have the caste system. We don't believe in castes. But the Hindu religion, there are 4 basic sacred books of Hinduism. 4 basic. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharveda. Vedas, we call them Vedas.
All the Vedas.
Yes, 4 Vedas. Yes. Rigveda, Samveda, Atharveda, and Yajurveda. In one of the Vedas, I have studied mine because I have got all the 4. I have got 3 Vedas. I don't have one Veda, that is Atharveda. Yajurveda, Samveda, I have. And it's mentioned...
Is it in Sanskrit?
That is Sanskrit, but I have the English translation.
Or translation?
Yes, because I cannot read the Sanskrit. It is mentioned in the Vedas that when God created the people, they called him Brahma, the supreme God. When Brahma created the people, he created the Brahmans out of his head. So head is a respectable part in the human body. So this section of society needs to be respected. Moreover, the brain does fall into the head. So the intellectual activity has to be undertaken by these people. So they are supposed to be engaged into the reading, the teaching and learning and nothing else. Then Brahma created another section of people, Kshatriyas, Brahmans, and second is Kshatriya. Kshatriya means warriors, fighters. And Brahma created them out of his biceps. And biceps symbolize the power, strength. So these people are supposed to just fight the other people to safeguard the Brahman class. Then Brahma created the third class, Vaishyas. And Vaishyas are, Brahma created them out of his belly. And this signifies trade activity. So they have to carry on the trade activities. Then the majority people, they are minor people, minor sections. Then the major section, Brahma created them out of his feet. And they are Dalits and Shudras. So they need to be disrespected.
So the richest man is which?
Pardon?
Brahma.
Which one is it? The richest man in India? Mittal?
No. Actually, Brahmins is a lot. And then there are different kinds of Brahmins. But Brahman is a top level.
If you do trade, you are the what do we call it?
The big,
Stammer.
Vaishyas.
So surely the Vaishyas are the rich ones because they do trade, right?
The rich Indians are which class?
There are Tatas and Birlas.
Oh.
Ratan Tata is one of the richest men. Now the Ambani.
But which class is this?
I don't know which caste he belongs to.
Oh.
This is a problem for India. You cannot move forward because of that.
But how will they know which caste you're from?
Yeah, Modi is which caste?
He's from himself, I think he's from Brahman caste.
He's Brahman?
I'm not sure about it, but I think so.
But that is easy to tell also to the lowest caste.
Yes, that's why we find that one of the great scholars of India, Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi rahimahullah, is known as Sheikh Abul Arab. Arab used to respect him very much. Then he went to the leader of the lower caste, that was Bhimrao Ambedkar. He is known as father of Indian Constitution. He formulated the Indian Constitution. He
The
was,
lower caste person.
yes, he was very much educated in the legal studies.
Mahatma Gandhi is which caste?
He was the Brahman, was true Brahman and staunch Brahman.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a cunning
And he
person.
doesn't think that the caste system is
Yes, apparently he said this. He said a concept. He said that lower caste are Harijans, they are children of God. We must respect them. But when this Bhimrao Ambedkar, he demanded the separate homeland, separate these electorates for the lower castes in the parliament. It was the Gandhi who went against him.
Oh.
So he was having a dual nature, and he was the worst kind of person.
Who?
Gandhi.
Gandhi is worse than
Yes, you don't know his reality.
He's a hypocrite.
Yes, hypocrite of first order.
Who is it? Why do you say that? I don't know.
He has
I thought he's a good person.
He has written a book, My Experiences with Truth. It's a biography, autobiography of Gandhi. My experiences with truth. Now he will himself say what kind of a person he was. I won't say this.
Serious? It's a book he wrote himself.
Yes, autobiography, My Experiences with Truth.
Right.
He was a immoral person.
Really?
He mentions himself in the book. It's not me that I'm accusing him of something that you are very much surprised.
So basically, he on the surface was trying to fight for freedom for India.
Yes.
But then he was maintaining this different castes. Like if you're poor, you're gonna poor for life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Yes, and he wasn't a good person. Those who have studied the Gandhi, they say he was a cunning person. He also misused the Muslims there.
He misused it.
Yes. Otherwise, in India, we had a rule of 1,000 years. It was by the efforts of the Gandhi that the Muslims were driven away. It was by the efforts of the Gandhi the Muslims were forced to ask for a separate homeland at Pakistan. It was by the efforts of the Gandhi. He was a cunning person. You must read that. You'll come to know about him, his reality.
Really?
Or at least you check on the YouTube Gandhi's morality. Then you'll see yourself.
What a disappointment.
Yeah, but our history is written by the British, see. So
You cannot trust history books. Huh?
yeah, it depends who writes the history
Yes.
books.
It's the narration of the writer.
And yeah, what kind of policy they want to have.
Yes, and what kind of mentality they have. And
Because we don't really learn about Islamic history. So even in Malaysia, we don't know about, the reason Europe is developing because Muslim colonies, they learn from the Muslims about technology and stuff like that.
Did you learn Islamic history?
And from the original sources, Arabic.
From the original source.
It is mentioned by Philip K. Hitti. His book is, he's one of the Western scholar, Philip K. Hitti. His book is History of the Arabs. He himself admits this fact, that all the development, all the scientific revolution which was brought in the Europe, it was because of the Muslims. Because the students from Europe used to go to Spain, and there were two famous universities of Muslims. As we have now Oxford and Cambridge, that time it was the University of Cordova and University of Granada. University of Cordova means Jamiat Qurtuba in our language.
It's in Cordoba,
Cordova,
Spain.
Spain, yes.
And the other one in Granada.
Granada, Granada.
Still Spain.
Yes, still in Spain. And they used to come to Spain and to these universities. Therefrom, they got the ideas.
You know like when graduation you have to wear. So that's like a juba.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.